Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Opposite Field Outlook, episode 17. I am your new host, Neil. Jack is away. He is far but near and dear in our hearts. Um, he'll be joining us probably next pod. Andrew is my co-host. Andrew, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Last official Riptide game is tomorrow. We're in the playoffs, so make sure to tune in on that one. I'll have that on my Twitter, so just check that out. But yeah, dude, it's coming to an end. Went quick, and now we got playoffs, so we got to win. Yeah, it's been a fun summer, but it's the culmination of it. So super excited for that. What about you, Neil? How you doing?
That sounds good to hear. I've been doing good. Not been up to much. Just PS4ing it up. And what else have I been doing? Just kind of prepping for Chapman, signing documents, and getting housing kind of settled,
Good stuff. Good.
food, meal plans, all that kind of stuff. So, summer's kind of got about a month left. So, and then getting ready for Chicago. That's the actual fun side
Ooh,
of my vacation right now. So, that'll be really cool.
yeah, it's a fun city. A lot of baseball, a lot of fun stuff to see there. Go to the Bean. You gotta go to the Bean for sure.
Oh yeah, I forgot they have the bean. I'll check that out.
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely check that out all the
Yeah,
time.
it's fun though.
Um, we'll get right into it for those people who actually have a life and did not watch every MLB game. Let's recap it for him. Andrew, take it away.
All right, I got you guys. So, Giants visit the Tigers for a one-off game, which the Tigers win 5-1. Guardians host the Royals for a Guardian Series win. Game one went to the Royals on a good start by Ryan Yarbrough and a mid start by Logan Allen. 5-3 Royals win. Game two and three, the Guardians offense beats up on the Royals pitching, winning 1-5 and 3-8. Bo Naylor has a two-home run night, and Zach Greinke takes his 16th straight road loss. Mariners go to Minnesota for the M's take two of three. Game one, the Twins win 3-4 with a Carlos Correa RBI in the 10th inning walk-off, finally paying up to that contract. The Mariners, they win Game 2 9-7 to take advantage of a Twins bullpen implosion. Game 3 goes to the Mariners 8-7 as they put up one more run in the first six innings thanks to a whole lineup cooking. The Texas series is in Houston this time as the Astros win 2 of 3 at home. Game 1 goes to the Astros 9-10 in a high scoring affair as John Gray has an atrocious start for the Rangers. Game 2 goes to the Astros again 3-4 as the Rangers bullpen does not hold up. Game 3, the Rangers saved from a sweep, winning 13-5 in the last game of that one. Angels play in Detroit for a series sweep. Game 1 goes to the Angels on a questionable bullpen game. Angels were bad, but the Tigers were worse in 10 innings. 6-7 Angels win. Game 2 goes to the Angels in Game 1 of the doubleheader on a Shohei Ohtani complete game shutout and a great game by Hunter Renfroe, 6-0. Ohtani's going to look great in Dodger blue in a few days. Game 3 goes to the Halos 11-4 as the one and only hits two homers, and this offense puts up some great numbers, and the Angels sweep the Tigers. Marlins go to Tampa 4-2 and split. The Rays win 1-4 thanks to Tyler Glasnow looking like Oppenheimer, and the second game Marlins win 7-1 thanks to a complete game, one earned run performance from Sandy. This man's on fire. He's on my fantasy team. Absolute beast. Subway Series in the Bronx for 2 and another split. Mets win 9-3 and the Yankees win 3-1. The Braves visit the Red Sox and the Red Sox take both games. Game 1, Braves turn a triple play, but it does not matter. Sox win 7-1. Morton has a rough day. Game 2 goes much the same as it ends 3-5 as neither starter has a great game, but the Braves bullpen was worse. Crosstown Classic at guaranteed rate as the Cubbies start a winning streak. Lots of offense from the Cubs, scoring 7 and then 10 in the next game. The weekend, my favorite artist, Guardians visit the South Side for 4 and split in sandwich fashion. Game 1, Guardians take a 6-3 win thanks to a Josh Naylor 3 RBI night. Game 2, the White Sox in a 3-0 shutout thanks to a Tuki Toussaint win. Angels legend. Game 3 ends 2-7 for the White Sox, and Mike Clevenger gets the fourth win of the season. Game 4 goes to the Guardians in a 5-0 shutout as Aaron Savali gets traded. Yankees playing Camden Yards. Game 1 goes to the O's 1-0. Santander walks it off. Felt like a playoff game. Game 2, Yanks win 8-3. Aaron Judge comes back. Game 3, Orioles win 7-3 on Sunday Night Baseball. And Luis Severino says he's the worst pitcher in baseball. Could be right there. Angels take on the Blue Jays and lose 2 of 3. Game 1, the Jays won 4-1. Kevin Gossman dices up the Angels, and Shohei leaves with an injury. Game 2 and 6-1 on the Angels bullpen melts down, and Taylor Ward gets hit in the face by Alek Manoah. Batty boy. Game 3 goes to the Angels to save the season from the sweep by a Renfroe homer on a drive in by Moustakas. Twins take on the Royals, and the Royals take the series sweep. I'll move on, and Rays visit Houston, and they win the series 2-1. Game 1, 4-3 wins for the Rays. Game 2 goes to the Astros 4-17. Taj Bradley has a tough outing, and Game 3 is won by the Rays 8-2, thanks to the work of Brandon Lowe and Josh Lowe. That is the recap.
Thank you for your services, Andrew.
Yep. I can do standings.
That's a pretty good one.
Took like 4
want to
minutes.
update them of
Yeah.
how it looks. I feel like the standings are getting a little, things are getting a little tight. Things are kind of mattering more as we get deeper into the season, At first it didn't really matter, but now it really means something.
Playoff spots are starting to take place. AL East, Orioles are in first, 65-41. They're on fire. Right behind them, the Rays, 65-44, a game and a half back. Blue Jays are in third, 59-48, 6.5 games back, 5 from the Rays. They're catching up. They're definitely heating up. And the Red Sox are in fourth, 56-49, 8.5 games back. Last place, the lowly Yankees, 55-51 is the record, and the last place team is still better than the first place AL Central team. Crazy, right? I saw a stat. I think Yankees in last place. That hasn't happened in like 20 years or something. At this point of the season, it's kind of crazy. AL Central, Twins 54-53, Guardians 53-54. Jesus. Tigers 47-59. 6.5 back. White Sox 43-64. Yeah, I don't know. 11 back. Royals 32-75. Jesus, 22 back. Rangers are in first in the AL West, 60-46. They're on fire. Astros are 60-47, right behind them. Angels are 56-51, 4.5 back. Mariners are 54-51. They're pretty good, but I think they're a little mediocre, 5.5 back. Angels are they're winning a lot of games, and don't sleep on them. They signed a few guys, traded for a few guys, looking to be hot. And in last, the single A's, 30-77 is the record, 30.5 games back, and I don't know. We saw them in person twice, and I don't know, dude. Like, there's not a lot of hope for them.
Yeah, I feel like I got the impression there was a very depressing aura, is the way I would put it, around this kind of ball club. I felt like the energy, especially that home game we went to, almost certainly the home game we went to with 4,000 was one of the most depressing games I've ever been to, including college, high school, anything like that. And I think the away game at Oakland had more energy simply because it was a protest game. I think those protest games bring more energy and life to the team than any other type of game in the past year or two.
Dude, we didn't even realize there was a protest game. Like, we sat in the middle of the protest. Like, it was insane.
We were in the middle of it. I don't think we were definitely not aware of it. And once we got to the fifth inning, I think that's when the chants occurred, and that was probably when it was planned. That was most likely the plan was to everyone anonymously start shouting, "Sell the team," in the fifth, like was done at the first protest game. And gotta say, it was pretty deafening. I don't want to, because I wasn't there at the first game, so I can't say. But I get the impression, at least based off Instagram, that second protest game, the chants were louder than the first game. And I think I could agree with that because there were 40,000 in attendance compared to the first protest game, which was, I think, a 25,000 attendance rate. So there was definitely way more people to be chanting, "Sell the team." So it was quite deafening. And it was really fun when the team actually cared, going to be honest with you. When there were 4,000 and that one dude and his son dancing in the corner was all the energy was for the night.
Yeah, facts.
I felt like the second game was just way more. And God, this is a bit of a tangent, but those A's, they got nothing going for them. Like
Hmm.
normally there's energy in the crowd, and then it kind of plays into the team, and that fuels their game. I feel like there's no game, there's no energy to like there's nothing. It's like a band that showed up with no instruments and no experience. It's just kind of pathetic.
Yeah, that's so facts. We
Uh,
were saying I think the A's have better fans than the Angels. If the A's fans swapped with the Angels fans, the Angels would be a lot more respectable. I don't know. Just
right.
our thoughts
I
though.
think I think if you had to base it off energy with your eyes closed and determine which fan base fits which ball club, I think you'd flip them
Yeah,
because
facts.
I was telling Jack this, but I think it's almost like the Angels are background noise when Angels go to the games. Not that no one's an actual Angel fan who watches baseball. I bet there's tons of people who go to the games and actually watch 9 innings of baseball enjoyably. But it feels like everyone's not to stereotype Angels fans, but I'm about to stereotype Angels fans. I feel like they're all middle-aged people who
Yeah,
just like to go there for the atmosphere of like going to hang out with friends, almost like Disneyland. Like you just go to hang out with your friends. You don't go to like watch anything. I think I think that's what the Angels get, and I think that's what more like Oakland deserves. If you know what I'm saying. Oakland doesn't deserve the team they're getting. That's what kind of makes it sad. If it was the other way around, I wouldn't feel bad for Oakland fans because you know, they're getting what they deserve.
yeah,
So
totally agree.
sad story.
Sucks, but I mean,
Um,
at least we met it. So when they move, we'll be like, oh yeah, I was there.
yeah,
It's kind of funny.
yeah. I think that's something that we can hang up. I got my ice cream helmet. It's got a souvenir, so we have things to at least kind of have reminiscence of
Hmm.
when that thing is in um Vegas. And I don't know where they're gonna play because they aren't in agreement with Oakland for that stadium for I think what in a few years, like 2 years. But Vegas probably won't be done for what 4 to 5 years. They haven't have they even broken ground?
Don't think so.
So I I don't know where they're gonna play for a couple of years. It's gonna be like Dodgers at the Coliseum, like that kind of we don't know where to go for a little bit type thing. We don't have a stadium. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a little
facts.
weird.
You're gonna be playing
We'll see how it happens
in
though.
the Warriors arena. I don't know. It'd be funny.
Playing on the court,
Yeah,
that'd be absolutely hilarious if they move over to that. It's literally across the block. It'd be so funny.
I know, right? Oh, on another note,
Ugh.
before we move on, the Yankees in July, 10-15. That's the record in July. So like under
Ooh.
500. One series win in July, 55 and
One.
50. 9 games back of first and 3 games back of the wild card. Number 2 payroll in baseball. Is it time to blow it up? I mean, they're close, but dude,
Um,
it's a little embarrassing.
they they will never blow it up
Yeah,
because
unfortunately.
they can't not try. You know, like the fans pay for so much. If they don't try, then it's like admitting defeat. And I think that's kind of like the Mets were at least man enough to do it. Like
Yeah.
this year didn't work. Let's sell. The Yankees are like our dream is to win every year, even when it's like having America when his shield's cracked in half, his freaking 5 teeth are on the floor, and he's like, I can do this all day. It's like, dude, just you're
Pack
done.
it
Tap
up.
out. Try
Uh
again
huh.
next year. Like, just pack it up, dude. I think that's kind of the Yankees right now, and it's like everyone's like, please, please hear me out, but they don't want to hear us out. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the Yankees screaming.
dude.
Yeah, they're a dumpster fire. I can't believe they only have one series win this
Since
month.
in July, um, from what I've
Yeah.
heard, I feel like all the prospects are not doing that great. Like, what's his name?
Hmm.
Jason Dominguez. I've heard he's not doing too hot, and he was supposed to be like their number one. I'm pretty sure he plays in the infield or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if they don't have him figured out, like, I don't know what else. Like, there's not a lot of hope. They traded most of the prospects away, so
Yeah.
tough,
No,
tough to see it.
definitely.
Tough to see
Um,
it.
they only really have like those prospects that they're doing a bit of a Dodger, right on the prospects like they were at the beginning of the year. And it's It's not quite working. I've seen Volpe. He's not having it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you said,
batting
Dominguez.
ninth.
They're in a weird spot.
They definitely are.
I don't know. They need something. And I mean, I'm not a Yankee, so I don't know the team well enough to diagnose them, but they need something.
Yeah, a lot of veterans, underperformance,
Um,
injuries, all that.
yeah, they're 3.5 back of the wild card though. But the thing is, like, the the Angels are above them. Like, it's kind of in this weird area. They're only 5 run differential.
Jesus,
They just
I thought it was more.
they're mediocre.
It's
No, 5 run
crazy to say.
differential.
Yeah, Angels have officially eclipsed them. Damn.
Hmm.
Let's hold on
Weird.
before we move on. Let's see the schedule. So August, they play
Hmm.
Rays,
Yankee dog
Astros,
schedule.
White Sox, Marlins, Braves, Red Sox, Nationals, Rays, Tigers. So that's like 4 easy series and like 4 or 5 tough ones. And then September they have Astros. They play the Astros a few times. Tigers, Brewers, Red Sox,
Mm.
Pirates, Blue Jays, D backs, Blue Jays, and the Royals. I don't know. It's a so schedule, but I feel like any team can win, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's tough
they only win those games
with
if they're
Judge.
fixed, and I
Yeah.
don't know if they'll be fixed.
Uh huh. Yeah, I
So
don't know.
we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see if they're fixed. Um, yeah, even the Red Sox are above them, man. And I don't even see the Red. I saw the Red Sox as sellers. So
Yeah. I don't even know if they're going
what
to
does
do it at
that
this
say?
point. Uh huh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else in the AL other
Don't
than the Orioles popping off?
don't think so. You can go
Orioles
to
doing
NL.
really good. Rangers kind of slipped up,
Yeah,
swept by the Padres, but
it happens.
baseball is baseball. That's not really that big of an issue. I think
Yep.
it's they lose the next series, we can talk about that, but I
Yeah,
don't think it's that big of an issue right now.
that'll be fun. They traded for all these guys. We'll get
Yeah.
into that.
We'll talk about AL specific trades later,
Hmm.
but that's kind of all that happened in terms of cool baseball stuff. Okay, let's move to the NL. Okay, so we're gonna start with the O's at the Phils, making an NL matchup. The Orioles, they take game one, 3-2. Dean Kramer, he pitched 7 shutout, only 1 earned run, so pretty quality. I think that's been the big thing for the Orioles right now, doing really good, is that starting pitching coming in clutch. The Phillies, they go up on the series 3-4 after they walk them off in the bottom of the ninth, thanks to Alec Boehm, who's having a really good season right now. The Phillies, they take game 3 by outscoring the O's 6-4. The winning run is a homer by Sosa and an insurance run brought in by Bryce Harper. Good old RBI by him. The Rocks, they play in DC. The Nationals, they take 2 of 3, the biggest mid-off you'll ever see. The Rocks, they score hella. They put up 10 against the Nats. Game 1, the Nats, they win a close one, 5-6 for game 2. And the rubber match, it goes to the Nats, 5-4, close one. Rockies could have taken that one. Anyone's game right there, but it definitely goes to the Nats in the end. The Reds, they play Milwaukee, and the Brewers, they take 2 of 3. So this was definitely a big important one, considering they're both in a division race. And if you look at the schedule, the Brewers have been really good against the Reds as of late. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of giving them the upper edge, to be honest with you. The Brewers, they take the first game 3-2 of a great relief performance, and despite Ellie De La Cruz's home run, it was not enough to propel them. Second game goes to the Reds, 4-3. Corbin Burns, he takes the loss, despite having a decent start. The Brewers, they shut out the Reds to win the last game 3-0. So good pitching on that day. Reds couldn't get it going. Diamondbacks, they host Cardinals. And the Cardinals, they win 2 of 3. They're heating up, but we all know they're sellers. We'll get to that in a little bit. Game 1 shows the height of the Cardinals' offense as they push 10 across compared to the 6 D-backs. Just wasn't enough, even though, if you're asked before a game, would 6 be enough? You'd say yes. Diamondbacks, they take game 2, 3-1, off a great start from Merrill Kelly. He's kind of bouncing back after his blood clot in his calf, that injury. But nonetheless, the Diamondbacks are going to need him if they want to make a playoff push. Game 3, the Cards, they come back with another great offensive performance as they win 11-7. Padres, they take on the Pirates and Petco. And the Bucks, they get 2 of 3 wins. Carlos Santana hits two two-run home runs to lead the Pirates to an 8-4 win. Friars, they take the second game 5-1, thanks to Blake Snell. That man is on another planet, probably leading in some Cy Young betting odds right now.
He's been hitting up.
Oliveto pitches a close game. Most definitely. It's Troy, Reynolds, and Santana. They all go yard in this game 3 to secure the series for the Pirates. So being fourth place, they're still a decent ball club, maybe a push next year. Blue Jays visit LA to take on the Dodgers, and Canadians, they take 2 of 3. So Canada is celebrating right now. Game 1 goes 6-3 to the Jays on a nice start by Barrios, who's having a bit of a bounce back year compared to last year. But it wouldn't take much to have a bounce back year considering what last year looked like. Game 2 goes to the Dodgers 8-7 in 10 innings as the Jays, they can't score in the top of the 7th to get the job done. A crazy game, by the way, probably game of the year for the Dodgers as of right now. The Bay Bridge series that we were at, what a crazy series. The Giants, they take both games. We were at the first one. Giants definitely took that one, and they take the second one. Notes, Aaron Savale, he's been amazing. So, yeah, that's kind of been a good bullpen piece for them right now. Weekend series, Nats visit New York to take on the Mets, and the Mets win 3 of 4. So at least something good happens for them. The Nationals offense, they only showed up for a game they won, which they scored 11 against the Mets. So that's kind of insane. Carlos Carrasco, he got the loss, giving up 6 earned runs, not playing for what they traded him for back a while ago. Cubs, they play St. Louis, and the Cardinals only squeak out 1 win. The Cubs pitching carries them through this one, and the Cardinals, they never scored more than 3 runs. So a bit of an oof right there. Detroit, they play in Miami, and the Marlins, they take the bread games of 3-game sandwich. Love to hear it. Game 1 goes to Marlins 5-6 as they continue their one-run game superiority. If you've been looking, they win by 1 run very often. Kind of creates for a small run differential, but nonetheless, they are a playoff team. Game 2 is a 5-0 shutout by the Tigers during the bullpen day. Game 3 is carried by Garrett Cooper and Gene Segura, who are small yet solid offensive pieces for those guys. The Phillies, they travel to Pittsburgh. Battle of what's it called? Pennsylvania. Yeah, just trying to remember my geography. Game 1 is a loss handed to Mitch Keller by Zach Wheeler in a 2-1 win for the Phils. I had Wheeler. That dude was dealing. I believe he got, I want to say 6.2 innings. I think he had 10 Ks. That dude was dealing. Only gave up 1 run, and it was off just a bloop. Basically should have been caught by someone. Somehow was an earned run, base hit, cost him the game. It's crazy. Game 2 is won by the Pirates 6-7 as Paguro has a nice game for himself. Game 3, the rubber match, goes to the Pirates 4-6 despite a nice game from Bohm. Palacios. Sorry, gonna have to get used to that one because he's an NL player. Palacios walks him off in the 10th, so that's good for him. I believe I heard something about a walk-off home run for the Pirates on someone's birthday, so that might have been it. That'd be really cool if it was. Brewers, they visit the Braves, and the Braves sweep. The bats are rolling for the Braves. They put up 10, 11, and 8 in each of their 3 games. So, they're number 1 in NL, and that is not stopping anytime soon. The Rocks, they host the A's. Battle of Midway ends the 2 games to 1 for the Athletics. A rare series win for them, so they'll take what they can get. The Diamondbacks, they welcome the Mariners. And the Mariners, they take 2 of 3 from the D-backs. Mariners pitching does well in the first and last game of the series. D-backs, they push across 4 in Game 2, which is enough to win the series, so they'll take what they can get. Rangers, they visit Petco Park, and the Padres sweep. I was at Game 3. It was quite electric. The Padres, their offense is killer. Thanks to Tatis Kim Machado, that 3-headed dragon, is doing really good right now. You could say 4-headed. Juan Soto is off to a great season. He should definitely be included in that conversation. The Dodgers, they host the Reds in an embarrassing series loss for the Dodgers, I would most definitely say, including a 9-0 shutout by the Reds. I was watching that game on my phone from the stands at Petco, and it was kind of rough seeing a fat 0 as the innings ticked on.
Were
Game 1
the
was
Padres
a close
fans
affair.
yelling and stuff at that, or no? Did they make any noise? Like clowning on the Dodgers?
No, I heard about it from behind me by some Dodgers fans. I saw it
That's fun.
where they put the scores for all the teams. It wasn't ever posted on the Jumbotron or anything like that.
Gotcha.
I think they kind of quieted down once they got below 500. They realized they might want to go 500 before they start trash talking.
Makes sense.
So I think that's that'll only come back once they Well, if they ever come close to trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah, facts.
Um, so yeah. Oh, excuse me. Game 1 was a close affair. The Reds they beat the Dodgers 6-5. Yency Almonte. I was at that game as
We were
well.
there,
I
yeah.
played a lot of baseball. Yancy, yeah, he basically he couldn't
Ugh.
find the strike zone when I was there. He walked a lot. I believe he hit a batter in. Yeah, if he wasn't there, things would kind of be locked up. He just didn't have his stuff that day. Tough loss for the Dodgers. Game 2 went to the Dodgers 2-3. Max Muncy, he was the only runs. I believe he was also the only hits for the Dodgers. So that kind of spells recipe for disaster, and that explains why in Game 3, Dodgers put up 0 runs because they suck. Um, yeah, the Red Sox, they take on the Giants in San Fran, making it an NL matchup. The Giants, they lose the first game on a solid game by Cutter Crawford for the Sox. Next two go their way, though, in two close games, 2-3 and 3-4, so both one-run differences. For the Giants, J.D. Davis, he walks them off in the bottom of the ninth in Game 2. That was quite electric, but I don't care because I'm a Dodgers fan. And the Giants, they walk it off after 11 innings. Game 3, what a good one. So, yeah, both walk-offs, kind of electric. I don't care because I'm a Dodgers fan, but I have to mention it. So it was said. It's in the ether now. So enjoy that, guys. And that'll do it. That is the most recent game, and that'll sum it up. So we're just going to quickly talk about where things stand after the mess of a billion games that I just mentioned. So the Braves obviously are number one. They're 67-37, which is, I believe, is 7 more wins. No. Six more wins? I think it's 6 more wins since we last were here. I think they've only lost like 1 or 2. But nonetheless, there's 644 winning percentage, which is the best in I think both leagues. So yeah, they're the best in baseball. They're doing really good, especially away. They're actually I believe better away than home, or the same. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I mean it's hard to be really good away. So good for them. Really good run differential, best in the NL. So they're doing really good. Yeah, it's also best in both leagues. They've been 6-4 in their last 10. Yeah, you got to highlight them, man. They're doing really good. But the Phillies, they're 57-49. They're obviously not going to win the division unless something catastrophic happens. But they're doing really good. They're streaky, so they could definitely fall off. Only a 10 run differential, which is crazy. The crazy run differential difference between first and second. But they're doing really good. Miami Marlins are 57-50, so they're only half a game behind. They could very well be second right now. Negative run differential, though, so I don't know how they're pulling away with that. I guess when they lose bad, and when they win, it's barely. So, I mean, we only check the results, the wins. We don't care about how the games were won. The Mets, they are 15-55. They are selling the dumpster fire. We'll get into that in a minute, but yeah, it
Yep.
is Cell City over there, and JV is next.
JV's
Cutthroat.
playing like JV.
Negative. Yeah, he's playing like he's on the JV team, but he's been better as of late. It's been pretty good. Negative 10 run differential for them. So if you look at that, they should be better than the Marlins, but they are not getting it done, and that's what matters. The Nationals are 45-62, better than last year, I think, winning percentage wise, what they ended with last year. So I mean, the rebuild is definitely coming. We've been hearing things about C.J. Abrams popping off. They did trade Candelario. We can get into that in a minute. He could have been a good piece for them to hold on to, but they can get a lot more back, further the rebuild mindset because they're not going to make it. So we might see them in a few years kind of come up, just like how the Reds are coming up right now. We might see that happening soon. We'll go to the Central. The Reds are 59-49. They are holding that division with a game and a half lead. The Brewers are 57-50, despite me just talking about how the Brewers beat them in a series matchup. So the Reds basically, taking on the Dodgers and winning that series was really good for them. The Brewers, they didn't really play good baseball ever since that series ended between the two. And now the Reds have a 4-run differential. The Brewers have a negative 16-run differential. And now they're fighting for first pretty much. I mean, the Cubs are kind of also in this conversation, not definitely for the division. They're 5 games back, which it could happen. It would take kind of a team collapse, though, by either Reds or Brewers to get there. But they're playing 500 ball, 53-53. At home, they're 27-27, and away, they're 26-26. So they're the most mid team out there. It's kind of weird. The Pirates are 47-58. They were close. They were in first at times, but this isn't their year. Most likely 10.5 games back, not even above 500. Yeah, I'd consider them sellers right now and definitely try again for next year. There's potential, especially with O'Neal Cruz coming back. There's potential for next year. Cardinals 47 and 60. By golly, they are selling. I think they've sold a lot, like probably most out of all teams. I mean, if not, then tied because they've been selling a lot. 11 and a half games back. Um, yeah, they have a losing record, home and away. It's not looking good. 3 for their last 10. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry, St. Louis. We got the West, 59-45. Dodgers were doing really good. Um, Obviously, did not end on the note that we'd all like to hear, but they're definitely the best in this division. I think that the rest of the division is scuffling in my division. In my, what am I trying to say?
My division.
I don't
Opinion.
even know what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
Opinion.
in my opinion, yeah. Forgot that was a word. English is not my strong suit. The Giants are 58 and 48, and the D-backs are 56 and 50. They are not as good as they were when they were both first in their divisions. I think that was kind of a wave, which we could enter again in a minute. We don't know how they'll play, but I think there is a little bit of fluking going on right there. The Padres are 52 and 54, 8 games back. They just swept the Rangers, so that's got to be a confidence boost. It's official. They're most likely not going to sell. I think that was the biggest front office boost they could get.
Yeah.
And they kind of, pulled an Angels where they're like, last minute, should we on the fence? No, they got confidence. They think they can do it. They haven't been swept twice, and they realize that, there's a chance, sort of. So the Rockies are 41 and 64, not playing 500 ball. I bet the owner's crying his eyes out that they just couldn't get it done. But yeah, that kind of sums it up. The wild card is crazy.
Teeing
We got
up.
teams like the Giants, Phillies, and Brewers right now in first. Marlins are tied with the Brewers, but obviously wouldn't be in the playoffs because they haven't won the series. D-backs are half game back, and then after that, it's a little kind of far, but possible. The Cubs are 500, 3.5 games back. Padres 4.5 games back. Mets 6 games back. I'd say after the Mets, it's like almost impossible. Onward, I'd say Cubs and Padres have chances. They're long shots, but they're chances. And anything past that, I mean, you'd probably need like God to strike lightning on the earth for that to happen.
Cardinals. They're gonna do it. Just watch.
You're right. My bad.
It's gonna happen.
Exclusively the Cardinals. They
Even
have a
though
chance.
they
Forgot about them.
traded away Montgomery, I still have hope. I'm
They'll
still a
still make the
believer.
playoffs, even though they sold.
Dude, they're 13 games under 500. If you just
Yeah,
take that however you want, they're gonna go on a huge stretch run here, and they're gonna finish 20
no,
games over 500, and then
no,
they're gonna win.
no.
Yeah.
20 games over 500. They
Time
would
is
need to
run.
almost win
Yeah, I
like
know.
every game.
I know. Time's running out. They would have to go undefeated in a month, and then yeah, keep winning.
They
Yeah.
need to have like the best 40 games of their life
While we're on
to
the
like make it.
subject, let me see what their schedule is. They're 47 and 60 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Twins, Rockies, Rays, Royals, A's, Mets. Oh, it's not that bad. Pirates, Phillies, Padres. Um, Pirates, Braves, Reds. This is a tough month. Orioles, Philly. Yeah, I don't know about this. Brewers, Padres, Brewers. Yeah, they're not. They have a tough September. Easy August though. I don't know. They could cause trouble for other teams though. Padres could happen.
They could. They
Uh huh.
could. They could rile up the storm. I think they're kind of
They're sleeper.
um like a villain almost, like you're trying to escape the pits of hell and the Cardinals are holding you back,
Yeah,
making sure you don't make the playoffs even though it's like I'm going to hell and you're coming with me because if I can't make the playoffs, you can't either. That's what they're going to do to the Mets and Padres probably.
I really hope so. Especially the
Beat
Padres.
them in some series and keep them out. Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Um yeah. So that kind of sums up how teams look in the past week, how they look in the standings, how they look in the playoffs. But things are changing. Things
Hmm.
are getting spicy.
Yep.
Trades have been made. The deadline is in, let me do some math, 3, 12,
It's
15,
tomorrow at
16, 17,
12 p.m. I think, right?
17 and a half hours. It's at 3 p.m. our time, which would
Oh,
be
3
6
p.m. our
p.m.
time.
Eastern
Okay,
Standard Time.
perfect. Ooh, coming up.
And I did the math. It is 17 and a half hours left, pretty
Okay.
much.
We always see,
There's about 17 hours left.
in the past, we always see the biggest trades happen in the morning. Morning or very
Yep.
close to it. I think a few years ago it was Chris Bryant to the Giants, and that was like a big trade because Chris Bryant was like in his prime. That happened like right before the deadline.
Right.
There's so many dude. It's fun. I love these like deadline, especially in the MLB because it's like chaos. Like
Oh,
NBA free
totally.
agency and this are really fun.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I remember seeing the free agency for NBA. I'm
Yeah,
not even watching it, and I know those players, and I know that it's big to see teams just go out there try and make the playoff push.
yeah, facts.
I think we'll get into it, but I think there still has yet to be like a big trade. If you know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah,
You know, like like that one trade that's like, oh my God, they pulled off the blockbuster. If you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Last year it was Juan
So
Soto. Like we haven't had a Juan Soto type of trade
right.
yet. Could
Yeah, we
happen.
haven't had
Juan
something
Soto
like
to the
that.
Dodgers to make it
And
happen.
I mean, Juan Soto is obviously like, once in a lifetime kind of player. So it's not like I'm expecting like, 3 Juan Sotos to be dealt at the deadline every year, but
Yeah.
um, I expect something better than like Lance Lynn to be or like Max Scherzer to be the biggest guy in the trade block.
hmm
So, but we'll see. I mean, we still got 17 hours. I think this is kind of where it gets even hotter. I think the stove accelerates. The train kind of, is going downhill now. And trades are kind of happening faster as teams realize we only have a few more hours to negotiate with other owners to get something done
And
until it's too late.
I guess the Padres are now buying, so they got their work.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about? Let's just quickly. Do you want to talk about the trades that have happened so far, or teams that have bought and or like declared selling and buying
go trade by
so
trade.
far?
Trade by trade.
Okay. Okay. So, let me just look at some teams, because I remember the trades once I see the logos.
Yeah.
We can talk about I think the Angels have probably made the biggest splashes, and the
Angels have been
Rangers,
really good in the
in my
playoffs.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, talk about the Angels. Don't know what the day was, but came out that Ohtani was not. He's off the block. He's not going to be traded. And then hours later, as we all know, Lucas Giolito came over in a trade that was pretty blockbuster for the Angels at the time because, you know, it's the Angels.
Definitely.
And I believe there's a reliever in that as well. I'm not quite sure the name of him because he was kind of like the smaller piece. Um, but Giolito was huge.
It was. I think I gotta check. Reynaldo.
Yeah, I forget.
Reynaldo. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Reynaldo
Yep,
from the
that is him.
Sox. He's been a very solid reliever.
So,
But yeah.
hmm
Was he,
the Angels gave up a little bit. They gave up a catching prospect. Don't know his name, but they got Ohapi. That's kind of understandable. They gave up a pitching prospect. Again, that's understandable, I guess. They're getting a pitching guy back. I think this is really only really worth it if they can sign Giolito again.
mm-hmm.
If they don't sign Shohei, at least sign Giolito, because then what was the damn point?
Yeah.
And then just to finish up on the Angels, I think it was today or yesterday. I think yesterday they got Crone and Grichuk
Mm-hmm.
from the Rockies. I'm pretty sure I read though both were drafted by the Angels. So this is kind of a bring
Oh,
the boys
really?
back home
I did not know that.
type of trade. Yeah.
I mean, I knew
Mm-hmm.
Crone was on the.
Um,
I didn't see Grich. He was on the Angels before. Which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were both drafted by the Angels, which is crazy. Crone is a good average, typically a power bat,
Yeah.
and Grichuk hit a home run today, so he's already contributing. And the Angels are making a push. They'd rather go all in with Shohei, and I think that's good. I mean that you
That
either
is
trade
good.
him or you go all in because you either trade him and you get something back, or the more difficult option but risky is you go in for the season, you show him that you actually want to contend for the next few years, and you give him reason to resign. Like you're showing him that you want to continue to be a good team rather than trading everything away. I mean, the reason wouldn't want to be there is because they're not going to contend for the next few years. And I think if they show that they want to,
Yeah.
then that's a really good, argument towards Shohei Ohtani when they're trying to get the contract and the pen on the paper. They can tell him we're trying to compete. These are the pieces we got, and we want you to be a part of that. So I think this is the more risky route, but like I totally respect it because the last thing I want is another A's team or Rockies where it's just pathetic every year. It's a freaking sell, and you know it before it happens.
Yeah, facts. Dude, I don't know. Like, I don't think we've seen the Angels this like invested in the trade deadline like in a long time, if not ever. Like, dude, this is something new for them. Like, if this means Shohei stays, I'll hate it. But like, you know, you can't help but like root for him. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I think like I'm not used to this kind of competitive nature of the Angels. If you know what I'm saying, like you're saying, like it doesn't happen every year. They haven't even been 500 in the past few years. Um, but I think it's exciting. And you hope it's not like just this year. If you know what I'm
Oh
saying,
yeah,
like
no,
they're only doing it because of Shohei. I think that's the biggest concern. But it's really nice to see as an Angels fan. Um, not from my perspective, but as an Angels fan, it's nice to see from that perspective because you want to win. You've been below 500, and now you're above the Yankees. You got a chance to maybe make the wild card.
can make a
Um,
run.
yeah. Yeah. No, I think this kind of, especially when you're like the Braves, and it's basically locked up that you're gonna make it. There's no anticipation. There's no sense of urgency. I think there's definitely a big sense of urgency in the Halos clubhouse with like we got to do it. We got to play good ball, otherwise we're not gonna make it. Um, so yeah, there's kind of like a tense atmosphere. I would suspect between Angels fans and the clubhouse that we got to. It's now or never type kind of thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise we
Um,
start next year.
I think for them too, if they get one more pitcher, because their pitchers Otani, Giolito, Detmers, Sandoval, Canning. That's your 1 through 5. If you get one more pitcher like Eduardo Rodriguez, who's having a good year, if you put him in there, I think you got a
Right.
real shot to not only make the playoffs but to re-sign Otani, and that's like what the goal is. And that dude, their hitters are fine. Like Moustakas, he's kind of a slept-on guy, but he's pretty good. Like, and Drury's injured,
Yeah.
Trout's injured. Like, they got options. They could make
I
the
think
playoffs.
I think before I think before they even traded for guys that the offense was totally
It
fine.
really was.
Um, Not that it was great, but I mean, they produced more runs than the Yankees. Like, and I know they're signing kind of fringe guys, CJ Crone, no one crazy, but I mean, you already got the big pieces. You got Trout. Ward being down is kind of sad,
Sucks.
but and you got the big pieces like Trout and Otani, and you just kind of got to build around that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
no.
um, I mean, you could always do with more talent, but I mean, it's good to just take Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. That's definitely serviceable as your build around guys, and then you just kind of add pieces around them. That's how teams have won World Series in the past. It's not like they're impossible because they don't have enough like all stars. Um, yeah, I think having these fringe kind of backup pieces kind of it makes them more. It gives them depth. You know
It
what I'm
really
saying? Like
does.
when I say the Padres have like really little depth, it's like superstar, 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 and when no one's there, it's like single A player when they get injured as a
Hmm.
replacement. Like I think the Angels have depth now.
Yeah,
You know, I think they got some good backups. I think they got some good flexibility. And yeah, this is a well more diverse team. And yeah, if they get one more starter, I I definitely give them way more percentage making the playoffs simply just by another starter.
totally. Yeah,
Um,
that's what wins you games
but
in the playoffs. Just the pitching.
yeah, no, honestly, that's what wins you games, man. I mean, they always say you can never have too much pitching. Um, yeah, but I mean, it's been difficult as of late because the Rangers have bought almost every starter on the market.
Jesus,
Those teams that they're definitely going for it. I
they
mean,
are.
being first place, I think that kind of. I mean, if they were a wild card, maybe they wouldn't have been as aggressive. But simply just being in the playoffs, I think they have a now or never kind of mindset. They don't want to wait another year. Ever since signing Seager, they've been kind of waiting to at least be like playoff bound. and now they're kind of there, and they're like, okay, screw it, we're in it now. So they got Scherzer, they got Montgomery. Jordan Hicks was in that package, right? As
Yep,
reliever.
they got Jordan Hick. Wait, I don't know. Let me look it up. Not sure if they did,
Okay.
but they did get Montgomery and Scherzer, and those were really good options. Um, Toronto Blue Jays. He got traded to the Blue Jays. Yeah, I guess
Oh,
not.
okay. So it was a separate trade.
Yeah, I guess so. I could
Well,
pull that up too.
they got starters.
Yeah.
Montgomery is still big.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so they get two starters. I think that's kind of a Andrew Heaney replacement. Martin Perez maybe a little bit because he's been scuffling. Um, at least in fantasy, he's been really bad. Yeah, I think this kind of like supports that bullpen. No, the rotation that just wasn't that solid to begin with.
Uh
Um,
huh.
like I was saying at the beginning of the year, and the reason I didn't really have them in the playoffs or leading the division was I felt like they only had like a good 1 to 3 punch ish, and the last two were just kind of like meh. Like I only gave the first two credit. Like I thought Eovaldi was really good, and I thought Degrom was really good, and then after that I was kind of like like Martin Perez I'll give a little credit. Obviously this year he's not him, but after that I was like I really don't know who else to like give credit to, and now yeah like this is a solid rotation, especially John Gray's having a pretty good season, better than
Yeah.
what I expected. Um, It's definitely propels them. I mean, the offense was basically like the entire All-Star game, so like that was not needed to be improved, other than like an outfielder, which I was saying I would have loved to see Cody there,
It's
as
such
like
a
a
good.
second option if it wasn't Yankees.
Yeah, it'd be such a good like spot too.
Yeah, no, it'd be great for him. But I mean, they can do without the outfield, and they decided to choose the starting pitching route.
Yep.
And man, they're buying every starter off the market.
Yeah,
Freaking Verlander might go there.
it's
I'm just
insane.
kidding, but like,
If they get Verlander,
it's absolutely
I don't
insane.
know. It would be insane. Just a crazy turn of events. I don't think the Mets would do that though.
Yeah,
Give up your top two pitchers right back to the same team. That would be insane.
yeah, to the exact same team.
Yeah.
Most likely won't happen.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, good for them. They're going for it.
They are. They'll make the playoffs
I
now.
don't. They are. They're being chased by those Astros, but they're definitely going to make the playoffs.
They'll be in the wild card
Playoff bound,
if they
man.
don't win the division.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like a second or third
Hmm.
spot for sure. Maybe even first. Okay, so we'll go into the
Oh my god.
what are the teams? We got
Padres are
I mean, the
about to lose to
Mariners
the
are solid.
Rockies also. So yeah, they keep scuffling.
That team is high, and then that team is low.
Yep. Up and
Jeez.
down, up and down, up and down.
Mariners have sold, getting rid of some fringe pieces. I mean, AJ Pollock. Seems like they're just kind of like organizing,
Yeah.
cleaning house, getting rid of contracts they don't want.
I mean,
It's fine. If
Pollock
you're not
Pollock
gonna make
didn't
it, I
really
think
do
that's what
much
you do.
though. Pollock was kind of just an old guy there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was having one of the worst careers of his, or one of the worst times of his career.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's not been it, but I mean, what can you say? He's kind of an older guy. Um, yeah, they're just kind of clearing house a bit. That's totally respectable. The D-backs, they made a bit of a trade. Um, I believe they picked up Hernandez.
Yep. Teoscar
Forget his first name.
Hernandez, and then Paul
Yep.
Sewell, their
Um,
closer, which is good for
yeah.
them.
So that's something they needed. They didn't really have a closer. I think if you're gonna be an elite team, you need that closer.
Yeah,
They've been scuffling a little bit. I mean,
they
they're
have.
they're only a little bit above 500 now. They
Let me
were
see
first in
it.
that division. I was scared of them. Um, I still thought we were gonna make it, but they look challenging. Now they don't look challenging. Um,
um,
yeah, they need like a shock, and I think that's pretty good addition.
from what I saw, I think they lost 11 of 15 to end the month. I'm pretty sure. They played
So like NL Yankees.
They play Blue Jays, they play the Braves, they play the Reds, they play the Cardinals, Mariners, and the Giants to end it out, which is kind of a tough schedule. Only a few good, like, only a few easy teams. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, I think this was they like that trade helps. They don't need a big trade, but like it's like a
Yeah,
fill out year,
I um I think if they're gonna make an elite push, they would need a starter.
Yeah,
I like
facts.
if you name the rotation,
Verlander.
what we got? Um,
Z-
yeah, they get Verlander. I mean, that definitely help.
you got Zach Gallen.
They have Gallon, Kelly, and everyone else is just like, who,
Let me see.
you know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
facts.
They don't. That 3 through 5 is like, if there's no names, it's just mid.
Uh huh. I
You
mean,
know,
Kelly even he's not that good. Like he's good, but he's I don't know. He like if
he's an
the
innings eater. I think he gets like 3 ERA every year, but just gets outs.
if the
Eats
Dodgers
innings.
if the Dodgers had Merrill Kelly, who would be like a four starter, I feel like if everyone's healthy, he would be like a four starter. But like he's solid for them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we got Merrill Kelly, Ryan Nelson. I mean, the third and fifth starters are out in IL 15.
Zach Davies, yeah.
Like
I
they're
don't know.
just kind of rough, man. I think they need the starters out of anyone.
Facts, yeah.
Uh,
They could
that's
probably
what's holding them
sign
back.
someone. Giolito in the
They definitely could.
they could really use
They take what they can get.
Bumgarner right now. That would be a great help for them. Um. Oh yeah, you want to talk about Dodgers trading for Lance Lynn, and then Kike Hernandez. Oh, I think we lost Neil. Neil, hold up. Did he lose connection or did I lose connection? Give me 1 second. Sorry about this. Got a tight operation here. Sorry about it. All right. Should be good to go. All right.
Y'all,
We're back. Had a little bit of issues, but we're back. All right. I
we
was
are
gonna
back.
transition. I was in the middle. I was like Lance Lynn, but no.
And
Yeah, next team.
then
The
it ended.
Dodgers trade for Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly. That was one of the few moves the Dodgers made. They gave up Trace Thompson. They gave up Nick Nastrini, and then Jordan Leisure, who's like a no name type of guy. Um, I was listening to the radio when they made the trade official, and I mean, you love Joe Kelly, right? He's another one of those guys like
Hmm.
chemistry. He's great to have. Um, and Lance Lynn, there's no easy way to say this, but he's been having a tough year. 6 ERA. This guy gives up home runs and he strikes out a lot of people. That's like all he does.
Yep.
I don't know though. Like Lance Lynn, he's been that type of guy, innings eater. I think the Dodgers need that type of guy, and I like the move honestly.
Definitely.
Only reason I
Yeah.
don't completely like it is we give up Nastrini, who is our ninth ranked like pitcher, but other than that, it's a pretty solid trade.
Right. No, I think that the Sox probably won this one in the long term.
Yeah,
Um,
facts.
I mean, most teams that are selling win in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Because the prospects eventually come up. But there's times where both teams like equally win. Like the time Lindor was traded and Carrasco and the Guardians got a good amount back. It was kind of mutual. There's trades where it's kind of balanced and it works out for both teams.
Yeah.
I think the Sox definitely kind of won this a little bit, but I mean we're so desperate, man.
Oh
I'll take
yeah.
what we can get
Facts.
because every team's short on starting pitching, and honestly, like I'll take any starting pitching because I think all of them are struggling, and the only way we're gonna get good starting pitching is if we take a bad one and fix it because
Yeah.
there's no good starting pitcher we can get right now. If that
I
makes
totally
sense.
get you. Yeah. Even like
Yeah. So
trade candidates like Dylan Cease, he's having a tough year. Like, yeah, pitching is not really a thing this year, and I don't know.
yeah.
Increased offense,
Yeah.
that's really what it's been. Like pitching last year
Yeah.
was
Things
elite.
have things have changed. Probably something to do with the rules or just being a weird year.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
things are different. Pitching is hard to come by this year. Most definitely, offense is easy to come by. Teams are doing well offensively, better than most years, at least on average. And yeah, I think this is a good trade for the Dodgers. Definitely needed something like Lance Lynn, anything. And Joe Kelly, I mean, he's not my favorite reliever in terms of like actually relieving a ball game.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I love his jacket. I love who he is. But like when he left, I was relieved that someone would come in and throw strikes at least. This dude's a spray and pray kind of pitcher, but he'll get you out of things at times. He's not that bad.
Yep.
But like he's like a Kenley Jensen. Like he makes you hold your breath. You probably lose a couple of years on your lifespan. Start digging your grave a little earlier. That dude, he's a little chaotic. So we'll see how it goes. Honestly, again, like I was saying, we need pitching, so we'll take what we can get. I'll definitely take it. Probably would have preferred maybe another guy, but like I don't care. At least we get Joe back.
That's good.
We gotta talk about Kike at
Oh
least
yeah, go ahead.
because that's a fan favorite right there. So yeah, with the Boston Red Sox, the Dodgers, they trade. I don't even know. I think it was a pitching prospect, some other rando.
It
Probably
was
some people that only some deep analyst and MLB pipeline knows about.
I think it was like Nick Robertson and another guy. Like Robertson, he pitched a little bit, but yeah, very little.
Okay,
It was pretty much a Dodgers for nothing trade.
right. I think these were kind of players that you're kind of banking on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Same way with Mookie Betts. We traded some people that you got to gamble a little bit on. They're not as insured as when imagine trading for Adley Rutschman. I mean that dude's for sure gonna make it to the big leagues. He's gonna be a star. When he was a prospect. Now it's kind of it's a little different for what we're trading right now. They're players that might not even turn out. And Kike, we kind of need that versatility right now. Chris Taylor's just not it. And I know Kike's not it, but I think he's more it. If that makes sense. Like I think we're getting more out of Kike, some versatility, some dude who. I mean, I like his at bats. I feel like he makes a good amount of contact, even if it's now a ground ball. Chris Taylor just striking out all the time is not what we need. I feel like his K rate is insane. I just feel like when I watch the game, there's a good 50% chance he swings and misses at every pitch I see.
Yeah, facts.
Kike, I feel like he'll put up a battle, and if he's out, he's out. It's fine. He tried. I like the battles. I like the effort, and I just love Kike, man. I gotta buy myself a Kike jersey at this point because this dude's like a fan favorite. I didn't realize how big my heart would melt when he came back to the team. I didn't realize how much I missed him till he came back.
That's so real. Yeah, Sam. I mean, our team chemistry is already at an all time high. It feels like, but now you add two other guys, and dude, it's both a mental game as much as it's a physical game. If you keep adding these
Totally.
guys who are just they've had a little tough luck with their performances and stuff, but you had these guys who are, in my opinion, can be really good for the Dodgers come October. I think it's a great time, and Kike's he's a postseason type player. Same with Joe Kelly. I don't know. I think it's a good trade by him. Bring back a few guys. All we got to do is bring back Bellinger, and we got to bring back who else? Corey Seager. No, yeah, just keep bringing back the guys. It'd be fun. It's cool.
Yeah, no, totally. I definitely agree to bringing back the chemistry that we missed.
Yeah.
Back then when we lost to the Padres, I was saying, I said that I felt like we didn't have the energy, like the Padres wanted it more. Not that the Dodgers didn't want to win a World Series, but almost when it came push to shove and you were down a few runs, all you could think about is just getting on base and following like the instructions. Like Doc said to do this, so I'm gonna do that. And when this thing happened, like no like home run was hit, and you try and fire up and prove to your freaking teammates that you want it. I think there's a certain energy that can get passed around like a torch that is equally as important and can equally get forgotten about, just like other things in the ball game. And I think PK brings that. Um, yeah, I think he's one of those players where he kind of he screams, he fires you up, he kind of reminds you that you want it. That you're not like if you're down a run, don't be depressed. Suit up, go do something out there, make a play. I think he's the energy that the Dodgers need because sometimes it can get too analytical in the clubhouse. Just
So
a little fiery and fun.
that's so facts. Yeah, dude. I hope like for the trade deadline we probably get one more guy and then maybe a small guy, just like a chemistry guy. But dude, yeah,
Hmm.
like we saw the Padres last year. They had chemistry galore, and I don't know. This year they're a little bit at each other's throats, which is great as a Dodgers fan. But if you're a Padres fan, kind of frustrating. Yeah, you just keep adding these guys good vibes throughout, and I don't know. You just keep rolling. Guys are coming back from injuries and stuff. I think the Dodgers are like right there with the Braves. Like the Braves,
Hmm.
they have youth and everything and all that, but like the Dodgers are right there. They're a little bit older, but still like they're still that team.
Hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah, no, definitely, totally agree with everything there. Um, and Ahmed Rosario, kind of little
Oh
toss in
yeah,
piece, need an
also
at
that
bat.
he's been really good.
Um,
Couple games, I really like him.
yeah, I mean he has made an error. He might eventually, most likely will eventually,
He
but
will never.
they're gonna let him play second. They're gonna let him play outfield. I think he'll be less of a liability if he's not at short.
Yeah,
Um,
facts.
just makes sense. Don't put the fat fielders at the most important position. So he'll eventually get used to the other positions. He's a good at bat. His average is fine, even though there's no power. I mean, got enough power. I think I was watching the Dodgers broadcast. There's 8 MLB players who have 25 or more home runs, and we have 3 of them. So
Crazy.
we have enough power. We just need people who get on base, don't get out. We need supplemental players, and that's
Hmm.
definitely what Ahmed can do. So love the trade. And we get rid of Noah Syndergaard. I mean, that dude
Yeah,
broke my heart every
it didn't
time.
work out.
So yeah, just didn't work out. Sorry, dude. Go find some success. Maybe go to the Rays. There's only 2 teams that fix pitchers at an elite rate. So try the other one.
Yeah.
If left didn't work, go right. um, yeah, we'll see. See how that one
Um,
goes.
Another one, Kendall Graveman to the Astros for Corey Lee. I don't know. I think that's like a decent trade. It's not worth talking about
Uh,
though. We don't have to discuss that too
yeah,
much.
as simple as Astros bullpen wasn't as good. They improved it.
Yep.
Simple.
Um, Aaron
Um,
Savale to the Rays also. Just that he's gonna be good
mhm.
for them. Yeah,
I like that a lot for them.
I do
They're
too.
they know
It's a
how to
good
make
trade.
people better.
Uh huh.
So they're gonna take Aaron Savali, they're gonna tell him what he does best, enhance it, and then make a Terminator machine out there on the mound.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
facts.
great. I think the offense is kind of what's struggling, which is why I don't know if this is exactly the trade that was needed. I mean their offense is great, but I think it might be the reason why they're slowing down a little bit is because
It's
those
definitely not
players
their
weren't known,
pitchers.
like they weren't known to be offensive players,
Yeah.
if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Like no one saw freaking Josh Lowe. No one's was like, oh my God, you're going to be so hyped when you see Josh Lowe this year. It's going to knock your socks off. I feel like you should see Wander Franco. Like, I feel like a lot of these players are playing higher than what you expect, and they're kind of coming back down to earth. And I think that's why you might need a little more offense. But,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my view. I mean, the Rays were never a huge offensive team, so
But from the
what do I
start,
know?
yeah. Even in the World Series, it makes sense. They were just
Yeah, they're a
pitchers.
small ball team.
They've always been
So,
like that. Or this
yeah,
recent
I
iteration of
trust
them.
them.
Mm-hmm.
They're a smart organization. I bet this was a great move for them.
Yeah. Um, Two more. Canna to the Brewers, and I think
Right.
that's a good trade for them. The Brewers they get like sneaky average guys, and he's a sneaky average guy. It's pretty solid for them.
Yeah, it fits everything. They're a sneaky
Mm-hmm.
average team. He's a sneaky average player. Go join the sneaky average.
Yeah, they don't have no
Um,
like Ryan Braun type player who's straight power anymore.
exactly. Yeah, they're just not that team anymore. I mean, unless Yelich just fixes himself, they're not that kind of team,
Yeah,
and they're
facts.
gonna have to wait until like some contracts expire before they get that.
Yeah.
So that was good for them. Um, Phillies sold David Robertson to the
Oh
Marlins.
yeah.
I mean, that just kind of was the start of it. That's all that was. It was kind
hmm
of a freaking white flag, being waved by that
Oh,
ship that's declaring, they give up.
it was Mets. I think you said Phillies, but yeah, Mets gave up
Oh,
David
yeah,
Robertson.
Met
Same thing.
Mets.
That yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
same
know.
team, both
Yeah,
mid.
I think
Um,
I think
yeah,
Scherzer was like pissed about it, and then he got traded like a few
yeah,
days later, so worked out.
yeah. Yeah, he probably didn't want to be there
Makes sense.
after that.
Yep.
But I don't know what he was expecting. I mean, they were below 500. What did
Into
he want them to make a playoff push?
August now.
Like,
Uh huh.
there's no point. I don't know what exactly he was upset about, but nonetheless, he was traded. So I mean, there's nothing really to talk about there anymore
Yeah,
since
facts.
that case was closed.
Uh huh.
Um, and JV, he might be next.
Yep.
Um,
We'll see.
I
Dodgers,
think,
make it happen.
yeah. I mean, it definitely well could happen. I think the Astros are interested. Dodgers and
Shocker.
Astros, I think the top two teams. Yeah, shocker. He's familiar with the place. He was there last year.
Jesus. That'd be
Literally there less than a year
insane.
ago, so he knows the place.
Yeah.
That's literally like
That'd be insane.
it's like when Matt Chapman signed with like yeah, it was a long trade in signing history, but like he got traded to the Yankees, signed with a different team. Oh, no. I think he got traded to the Yankees and then got traded to the Cubs and then signed back with the Yankees. Like it's a whole series of just players reverting back to their team because they like it. Same thing might be happening here. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I think after they got rid of Scherzer, that was kind of like that was the message. Like we're selling. It's kind of gone. There's no hope.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes sense.
yeah, it's kind of over. They'll look to build around something else, but I think the hype of the Mets is like I don't even know how they're gonna respond in the playoffs or in the off season because that's just gonna be a weird conversation to have. They're all depressed.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. The Mets are a mess, and I low
Yep.
key don't think there's a cure this year. I think they're screwed.
Yep. No, the Mets
The
a
Mets
little earlier
meted.
than
Yep.
yeah, they met it earlier than last year. That's
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Sucks ass. One last
Literally.
one. It was Jamer Candelario to the Cubs, and I don't know. Like the Cubs, they're in a race, but I don't think it matters too much. Like I don't think the
Yeah.
Cubs are gonna make
Um.
it.
I mean, I like to clown on them, but they have more of a chance than the Padres do, in my
Facts.
opinion.
Facts.
At least in terms of like records. Like they're in a way easier division.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're gonna win the division. I mean, there's a decent chance since it's pretty easy. But they're higher. They're actually 500. So like if you close your eyes and say like pick the 500 team or the below 500 team to like make the playoffs, I'm obviously picking the 500 team right now.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously the Padres have way more talent. They got Juan Soto. They got crazy good talent. But like if you close your eyes, the Cubs buying seems more sane if you look at the Padres buying. Like it makes it seem more reasonable, even though it still doesn't make sense. But whatever. Um,
Yeah. Facts.
if if you believe hard enough, maybe they'll make it. I don't know. It'd be crazy.
Mm-hmm. I totally get you. Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the line, it's just divisional games, and I think the Padres have a pretty tough schedule coming up. They're about to lose to the Rockies too,
Totally.
so like anything can happen.
Yeah,
These type of games.
that is crazy that they're about to lose to the Rockies. Only
Mm-hmm.
one run. We'll see if they can get it.
3-2, dude. Jesus. Yeah, they scored 10 runs one day, and then they go two, and then five, and then one, and
Yep.
then up and down, up and down, up and down.
My grandpa complains about it every day.
Oh yeah, Padres fan makes sense.
Yep. It's like those damn Padres.
Yeah,
Don't blame them
I
because those
don't.
damn Padres do suck.
Yeah,
We'll see though.
is
See if they
that
can turn
it?
it around.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams have confirmed they're not going to sell. So there's the trade block is kind of slim. I mean, JV is all that's really being talked about right now. The Phillies aren't
Until
going to sell. Cardinals, maybe if they want to get rid of more.
Arenado,
JV,
come on.
probably. Yeah, I mean, they said they wouldn't, but
Not
they
gonna
could.
happen.
They definitely still could. I don't think the Red Sox are actually going to sell because they have more of a chance of
They
making it
probably
than the
won't.
Yankees. A lot of
Hmm.
teams aren't giving up, which is really weird. I thought they would
Extended
because
playoffs,
there's
it
no
has to
hope.
be.
I guess they feel like there's more of a chance. So yeah, more teams are buying than I thought. So there's actually not much to be sold, if that makes sense. As much as there was last year, which is why I think it hasn't been as chaotic with like big people being sold on expiring contracts. There's just not much to sell with less teams selling. Um, yeah, I Rockies kind of already sold. I guess they could sell more, but yeah, that's kind of it. It's just JV and maybe some more Cardinals. It's kind of it.
Yeah, facts. I mean, we'll have a lot more to talk about in the next one, but yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
pretty good.
I mean, what do we know? We're gonna see freaking
Gonna see a lot. Stay
Mike
up all
Trout
night.
traded to the Royals tomorrow, and we're gonna have to make a pod about that.
Yeah, facts. I think that's
Okay,
it. Yep.
well, yeah, that'll do it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. That is most of the important trades. Obviously, there's poo-poo trades that no one cares about in there, but that'll catch you up. That'll tell you who's coming in, who's coming out of this playoff race. We'll see you next time in a week, and trade deadline's less than a day away. So by then it'll already be a week after. We'll be talking about how teams have been doing after they've made their trade acquisitions. See, maybe the Padres got worse, and it's kind of funny, and we'll be laughing at that, or they got really good. We'll see. It'll be spicy. It'll be different. Um, it'll be chaotic because it's gonna be even closer to game 162. So we'll see how it goes. Um, that's it by me. That's it by Relvi. And yeah, we'll be back hopefully with Jack next time.
Yep.
So yeah, that
Hopefully it
should do it.
doesn't go to Hawaii again. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, come back home. All right. Peace, people.
See ya.